I were to start with a quote, it would be, I would never let my schooling get in the way of my education. Mark Twain. So when we look at this thought of education, we're going to go back in and kind of expand it and work it out just a little bit. So work with me for a second. Okay. I can guarantee you that the key to every idea expressed thus far today is in that paper bag. I can guarantee it. The questions that I have for you now are: 1, what's in the bag? And 2, what are you willing to give me for? Talk to somebody sitting next to you. You got about 10 seconds. What's in the bag? And what are you willing to give me for it? Talk. Okay. Any quick thoughts? Responses? Space? Ideas? Time. You can't put those in bags. Yes, you could. I could go put a watch in there. Space is empty air. I could go back in and use Picard's spaceship. There's space. I could put the whole building in there if I want to, if somebody loaned me the keys. There it is. When I thought about TED and this talk and the purpose, I realized that the purpose of us all being here is to unleash untapped potential. But I started asking myself, why am I here? So in all of my confusion, I started going around talking to some of the people I know. I said, somebody got me involved in a TED talk. And then my people, the folks that I get to hang out with, asked me the question, TED? Who's TED? What's TED talking about? I said, okay, let's try this again. A TED talk. Who is TED, honey? Ted Smith? And what is he talking about? And that helped me to define my purpose. My purpose here is to help bridge the gap for those people who kind of like my bag, you may pass by, may not pay attention to, may not get engaged with, but are full of untapped opportunity, potential, and possibility. How can we truly innovate and continue to work those spaces if we don't expand the members at the table to help it reflect our society? My education has come, and the thing that stands out the most to me is that we need to reinvigorate relationship in order to create a new collaborative space in the 21st century. What a difference 6 blocks can make. I was at MU for 10 years. I left out of the College of Education as an assistant teaching professor. We had meetings. Robert ruled. We had time for coffee. Oh, see, at Caldi's. Let's go down to Starbucks. How about some Lakota? We had time for lunch while I was at MU. Well, how are we going to have this meeting? Let's go do it over lunch. I'll see you down over at Nothing But Noodles. Let's go there. Then I got to public schools. Robert does not rule a meeting with an angry parent who has to go back in and advocate on behalf of their kid. She doesn't care anything about Robert. My coffee is now Folgers. Yum. Got to put some cream in it. And lunch, I have someone looking at me and nodding, is about a candy bar and some popcorn. Let's keep it moving. We don't have time to sit still. But what Douglas has also done for me is gone back in and talked about and changed my perspective. Whenever we sat down at the table, we have to go back in and embrace the voices that aren't traditionally there. When I heard about energy and transportation, the things that came to my mind were, how long does it take a 19-year-old to get from the district down to Georgetown after they've closed a restaurant that night? When I thought about energy or health, I thought, well, what about all these kids that I see smoking and eating hot fries for breakfast? I don't think there's any nutrition in that one, Amanda. I'm just going to kind of get. What about all of the students? And I have a shirt on from one of my students, DeAndre Johnson. And what about those that were there when this young man was murdered and had to go back in and figure out how to go back and deal with the stress and did not have connections to services and innovations? If we want magic in Columbia in the 21st century, we've got to figure out a way to get this innovation out to the masses and get them engaged in the process, because that is what is going to separate us out from the rest of the world. We see it in small versions coming out at Douglas now. Thank goodness for the good-hearted people that don't mind stopping in and realize that, you know what, that calendar just doesn't hold the same weight that it did when I was at MU. How do you get to an appointment with Eryca? You go knock on her window, she'll let you in and say, come on in, sit down for a second before somebody else calls me away. And what has that produced so far? Thanks to the generosity of the district, we are now in partnership with them, and students that would have never thought to go back in and be a part of the downtown district are working downtown. Not only that, but she extended it out and sponsored our culinary arts class, which is Bulldog Barbecue, in the Roots and Blues Festival. They won 4th place in chicken out of 65 competitors. So then I think it was Amanda that ratted me out to Keith and Kale. We just need to talk to you. We just need to talk to you. In an informal conversation, they mentioned something about Startup Weekend. I had never heard of it. I've been in Columbia for 20 years. I don't have access to that space. But they did. And not only did they have access, but they were willing to open it up for others. We had Douglas High School students participating in Columbia Startup Weekend, and the students won the Young Entrepreneur Award. You want to ride a bike? I want to ride a bike. Bike riding's healthy. It helps out Amanda's cause, too. We worked with Metro Rotary. I'm trying to give them a shout-out. Can you tell? It was Metro Rotary and PedNet. And they put together a wonderful bike club that gave our students the access and the opportunity to earn bikes so that they could go out and they could ride. And they have a bike club. Our kids have a bike club where they go out on Wednesdays now just riding around the neighborhood. What a novel thought. If we're going to invigorate and innovate, we have got to figure out a way to take this collective thought and get it to people that would have never thought to get here. To the folks that said, honey, Ted, who? They need to know. Because not only will they participate and benefit, but with their own untapped brilliance, they will help build the case and help move our work forward and help take us to new spaces and places that we could have never gotten on our own. So what about my bag? What's the challenge in the bag? I'll come back to that in just a second. I like to issue a personal challenge to you. And I liked it because Keith did it at our break. We have got to go and meet people that we will ordinarily walk past. We have got to start connecting and take the us and the them out of our community and make it a we. It can start as simply as when you see those people that have intruded in all that crimson today. Hi, how are you? Welcome to Columbia. Be kind to us on that football field, please. It can be as simple as, where do you worship? Try something different. Where do you go and eat all the time? Instead of just walking past the person that's waiting on you or the dishwasher, hi, how are you doing? There are no us's and them's. We've got to have a we. So, my bag. What does that have to do with solving all of those issues? Pretty simple. Come and talk to me afterwards. You talk to me, I'll introduce you to a couple of people I know. I'll talk to you, you introduce me to a couple of people you know. And I guarantee every brilliant idea that is sitting in this room will be nurtured, will be fed, will grow, and will take us as a city to a place we never imagined. Thank you.